Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this week we're going to be talking about some different realtor red flags and tips that you should definitely be looking for when you are choosing to decide your realtor. I really think it's super important to shop around and make sure that you're picking somebody who is going to work well with you. You guys, vibe together. This is going to be a very personal process. You're selling your home or you might be buying your first home. So you want to really connect with these people in a good way. So here's just some different things to look out for when you are choosing a realtor. Some things to kind of consider. So you're sitting down, you've decided that you want to sell your house. Okay, well, what should you do now? You should go online, do a little bit of research about your market, about your area. Maybe ask around, ask some of your neighbors. Maybe somebody down the street recently sold their home. A lot of neighborhoods these days have little websites, different neighborhood groups and Facebook groups. Go on there and ask people, private message them, see if anybody will, talk to you about their home buying process potentially. I would really suggest 2 to 3 listing appointments. You really want to hear what these agents have to say. How are they presenting this information to you? How are they explaining the process to you? Are they making you feel comfortable? Do you guys vibe well together? Don't forget, you really want to mesh with this person. You don't necessarily all have to be best friends, but you definitely can tell right away if you would enjoy working with somebody or not. So just listen to your gut and listen to what your gut is telling you. And that's just a little bit of life advice. So let's say you get 3 different listing appointments and you get one for 205, 212, and then you get one that's 245. Where are they pulling this data from? How are they representing this data to you? Why are they pricing the home so high? Maybe you've had people in your neighborhood who sold their homes for 230, 220. Really make sure that you choose the right price, because that's really the key. Pricing your home at just the right price. So my number 2 realtor red flag tip would definitely be that they're really just failing to communicate with you. If you're the buyer or the seller, you're relying on us to help navigate you through this process. And even from the beginning, you should be getting clear messages. So as a realtor, you're really counting on our experience and our understanding of the market to kind of help guide you through this process. And not only just the market and the pricing and the financial aspect, but the negotiating and the different aspects that will go into it, the inspection, making sure that your best interests are continued to be represented throughout the whole transaction. So I will say that communication truly is a two-way street. So as much of my expectation is that I'm going to try to communicate as best that I can with you, I also would hope that you are sending me the best response that you possibly could too, because the more that you tell me and the more you communicate with me, the better that I can help you. Just as much as that, I hope you have a very high expectation of how clearly and frequently I'm communicating with you. I hope that I can have some sort of expectation of that from you as well, because there is information that I'm going to need from you. There are deadlines. I can communicate with those to you as clearly as I can, but unless you act on that response, there's not much I can do from my side of the field. I can't make choices for you. I'm just here to help guide you through the process. Make sure that you have just a full understanding of everything that is going on and all of your options. And at the end of the day, how are we going to get the best deal for what you're buying or you're selling? As easy as it is to have such a high expectation for response time, we all have smartphones in our hands nowadays. We all have calling, we all have messaging. Sometimes it is important to remember, just because everything is time-stamped doesn't mean that it's urgent. Sometimes we'll send out a text message 30, 40 minutes, sometimes even an hour. When sometimes, they're in something, they're in a closing, they want to have their undivided attention to these clients in this closing. I would hope that you would want me to provide that kind of service to you in your closing, same time that I'm providing that service to some of my other clients. So along with, being very clear and being frequent with the communication, there is just a group aspect of communication where we could all work to make this as seamless as possible. So the third piece of advice that I would highly recommend is, does your agent feel like a leader? Is your agent making you feel like they are taking a hold of this transaction? And are they making you feel comfortable in the decisions that you're making? A good leader is a servant leader. Are they showing up? Are they coming to appointments? Are they meeting you? Although your agent should be reflecting your wants and needs, not their wants and needs, you should trust in your agent and some of their experience and their knowledge of this market to kind of help guide you and really consider some of their suggestions. Everybody needs to be heard, and I definitely think that that's valid, but definitely be open to some different ideas. Maybe you weren't thinking about listing at that price, or maybe you weren't really thinking you wanted to do any repairs or even a little painting. So just kind of be open and kind of hear and maybe weigh some pros and cons that maybe you hadn't considered or even thought to consider, because you're not in this every day. You're not working with people in this industry. And so it's definitely valid to not have the broadest scope of information. Just in the same way that I don't know how to do electrical work, I'm definitely going to hire somebody to do that. So it's kind of, a little bit of give or take. And hopefully at the end of the day, after kind of hearing out some of your agent's suggestions, they should have also been educating you throughout this process. And so, there's a lot of terminology. That's income ratios, like FHA loans, down payment, closing costs. What's the difference between that? We have escrow money, earnest money, and good faith money with all these different names and all these documents with all these different names. And it's a lot of stuff. I get it. It's like so much stuff. But hopefully they should be informed enough and they should be experienced enough to be able to explain that stuff to you and for you to really understand. So if you have an understanding of what's going on, then you'll be able to make a more conscious and, weighed decision than if you're just like, I don't know, I'm just nervous and I don't really understand this market and I don't really know what to do and I just really need you to help me make the decisions. That's not going to lead you with the best results, and you're not going to get the best for yourself. Just another thing to consider, while you're shopping the market and deciding who you want to represent you throughout this exchange of assets. Okay, so number 4 red flag is your agent making you feel pressured. Although it's important to remember that we do need to respect deadlines, and most contracts do have some clause about in a reasonable amount of time. So we really can't be dilly-dallying in one sense, but you're constantly just feeling super pressured to perform or to make decisions or, change your decision. Like, do this right now and do this because I told you to. I really hope that your agent is not talking to you like that. We are just supposed to be here to guide you through the process and to inform you and to make suggestions based on what we think that the market is reflecting right now. So number 5, my 5th realtor red flag would be, are they a bad marketer? Especially if you are wanting to sell your home. You want your realtor to be good at marketing. You want there to be desirable photos of your home, because not only are the other agents going to be looking at these photos, but also the other buyers. Also, did you declutter your home enough? Did you straighten up? What kind of staging suggestions did your realtor make to you? Also, outside of maybe the design and the staging of your home, you want to make sure that your realtor is good at marketing this on social media. Do they know the key spots to place this knowledge so that a lot of people in this area and in this neighborhood can get quick access to it? A lot of really great options, like you can put listings in Facebook Marketplace now and Instagram and TikTok. You can take a video tour and you could take little Instagram reels of people's homes, and there's just so many different virtual features nowadays. We're starting to get a little bit into that Web 3.0. There's going to continue to be more and more different ways to kind of virtually experience this industry. How can you leverage all of these free social media platforms to your highest advantage? And does your realtor have an understanding of how all of those things work? Once you put it in the Facebook Marketplace, you can share it to 10 groups a day. So until your house is under contract, you could be pushing this out to, if you live in Westfield, some Westfield garage sale homes, there's sites, there's Facebook groups where you can put homes for sale. Like, there's so many different options. Also, getting your friends, having really good engagement on your posts, and having people who are consistently supporting and encouraging your content so that more and more people in your community can see, what you have for sale. It would really be preferable and your best representative had a good idea of how to market your property. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this week's episode. I really hope that made sense. I hope it cleared up some maybe things that were floating around in your head and you're just starting to consider buying a home, or you're considering selling your home, and kind of get you thinking and grease the wheel and giving you that idea of what to look for. You're starting out on this process, and sometimes it can be kind of scary, especially if it's a really aggressive market or it's a really slow market. We've really been all swept up in this crazy fast moving market, but the market is going to ebb and it's going to flow, and what can we do in each market to fully maximize your potential and your property and your asset? If you guys are loving this content, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and definitely give this video a like. Please comment below, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. What do you want to hear from me? What do you want to have explained? Do you want more city, county, township specific information? All my social medias will be linked below. If you want to contact me, ask me a few questions, my email, my phone number, all my social medias, those are all linked below. So definitely feel free to reach out. If you're like, I don't know if I want to talk to you yet. Also, you can head over to my website if you want to start looking for homes. I'll also be able to see that, and I'll be able to see the houses that you were looking at, so we already can, get started on that conversation. I already have an idea of what you like. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's find you the best deal we can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.